Hello everybody, how are you all doing? Okay, now the aim of this blog is to try and determine when the financial crash is going to happen. A lot of you have been asking me over the time. Obviously people are anticipating it, and what with the economic suicide with green policies being exacerbated by everything that's going on in Ukraine and the gas pipelines, it seems to be pushing us ever closer to the brink of some sort of collapse. Now, the interesting thing is I've got up a chart there to show you, but when Pluto went into Capricorn, this was in 2008, around about the time of the crash, which, as you know, started unraveling in October. It's very, very interesting, the symbolism, because Capricorn is all about the banking establishment, the banking world, finance, high finance, and also the controlling infrastructure, which, as we know, is linked to finance capital. And Pluto is the planet of destruction. So it was quite symbolically relevant that as Pluto rolls into Capricorn, things started falling apart. But amazingly, they've been able to kick the can down the road. It didn't all collapse. And I know, watching at the time, Jeff Randall on Sky News, who is actually a rather good economic commentator, who seemed to be a little bit more clued in than any of the other Sky people. And he well, it's probably why he didn't last, because he tended to be thinking along the lines of, well, I won't say conspiracy, but of the alternative thought, rather than just trying to smooth everything over like it's all going to be fine. And at the time, he couldn't believe it. In 2012, I know that there was a Spanish bank, an Italian bank that he thought would go bust immediately. Deutsche Bank has been just teetering on the edge all these years. So the entire time Pluto's been in Capricorn, we've been feeling like this collapse is imminent, and yet it hasn't happened. But I don't think it can be too long, and here are the two reasons. Let's have a look. So in October, you know I've talked about October quite a lot. I'm sorry because this is on the wrong side of the screen for you guys, because you're looking at me instead of this. So anyway, what it is the ephemeris for October 2022. What's important about October is we have Saturn at 18 degrees of Aquarius squaring Uranus at 18 degrees of Taurus. Now, we already have had these planets in square, and they were causing a lot of the turmoil during the COVID, the lockdown, whatever. But now they are squaring off each other for the last time in this sort of era. It's also important because Uranus is the planet of sudden change, upheaval, disruption. Taurus is also the house of money. Uranus, like digital currency, digital money, because Uranus is the planet of technology. So you can see all those themes playing in. Plus, once again, we've got Saturn, the banking establishment. But what is important is Pluto goes retrograde on 26 degrees of Capricorn. Now, 26 degrees of fixed signs is what's called a critical point. When a planet is in that degree, it's much more enhanced. So it's very interesting that Pluto is turning on 26 degrees. And why it's also relevant is once Pluto turns on 26 degrees of Capricorn, it heads off and enters Aquarius for the first time in 270 years odd. So I feel that as Pluto went into Capricorn, we had the banking crisis. That chapter never finished. That chapter still has to have its kind of ultimate denouement, and we may be looking at it right now. October is also the start of the Shemitah year, which if you guys watch Jeff Berwick, you know he thinks that's significant as well. So I'm definitely thinking we'll start seeing signs of it all unraveling from the seams in October. However, Pluto, as I say, next year it moves out of Capricorn into Aquarius, but it does move back into Capricorn and goes retrograde for the final time in Capricorn in October of next year. So it's going to be a tale of two halves. There will be some incident in terms of the financial sector this October, and then the finale will be next October. Remember, October is very important to the New World Order, to the Bolsheviks. October surprises, the Bolshevik Revolution in October. The previous crash was in October. It seems to be just a time when things hit. I think they take the summer off, and, you know, with the Tory party leadership, they got to get all that all organised. And once that's done, we're looking at October. So October this year for a big event, and October next year for the surgeon's knife in terms of this whole economic system. So do watch out for that, guys. And I hope that's been helpful and given you some insight, because it's important stuff.